لا تفشي سرا ما استطعت إلى امرئ يفشي إليك سرائرا يستودع فكما تراه بسر غيرك صانعا.
But when she did get married, she talked about it in the most glowing terms, the most beautiful of relationships. How lovely was this marriage between Aisha radiallahu anha and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She describes how much they loved each other. She describes how they were together, running, playing together, and when she talks about sex, she explains to us, she was our teacher. She's the mother of believers. And she was teaching the Muslims up until she was in her late 60s. When she passed away, radiallahu anha, teaching them what you don't do to women, what you should do to them, what they like, what they don't like, how to give them happiness with this most intimate act. She describes it in the best way, telling us details that we wouldn't know otherwise, especially about being clean, cleanliness, hygiene related to this subject. She's very clear about it. What we know today, we learned it from her. She was still young, not even 20 years old, when her husband died, which was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He loved her so much. This is a man of men, the leader of nations, big, like according to them, big warrior, But yet when he was dying, what did he say? He said, I want to be with her. And he put his head in her lap. And she was talking to him. And she would put a compress or cloth over his face, a wet rag, I guess, and cool him down because he was having fever. And he was suffering from this. Then she would take it off, and he would say some things and then put it back on. And she even took the toothstick and trimmed it with her own mouth and gave it to him so he could brush it. He loved to brush his teeth with a siwak stick. If you ever use one, you'll love it. It has good flavor in it. It's better than toothpaste. How much did she love him? How much did he love her? He said himself, that he loved her more than anything. He loved her so much. Of all the things in the dunya, he just loved her so much. How much did she love him? After he passed away, she's still a young lady. Did she go out looking for another husband? No. She never even entertained any offer of marriage. There was no discussion about this. And what did she say about her husband? I'm going to ask you, you know women, ladies, have you ever met any woman who could go, let us say, 40 years and never say a single bad thing about her husband? How about 40 days? How about 40 hours? How about 40 minutes? Never said a single bad word against her husband, ever. If she did, it would have been recorded, because they recorded so much from her. We have over 2,200 Sahih Hadiths coming from her, very important information of Islam coming from her, and you will not find anything but the very best respect, love for her husband. Now what did she believe? She believed there's only one God. And she believed you have to do what he wants you to do. And Muhammad is the messenger of God. The same that we believe. And what was she most interested in? Most interested, like all of us, in being in Jannah. To be in Jannah with Allah. This is what Muslims are seeking. When I started the program out tonight, I mentioned that. That's what I was seeking. How can I get close to Allah? What can I do to know more about Allah and draw closer to Him? And in her life, her whole life, she only had this one husband, which is Muhammad. And in all that time, until she died, her greatest hope was to be with him in paradise, where they would live happily ever after. I want you now to contrast this story that I just told you with the greatest of all love stories in English language from Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and the Capulets, the great feud between them and their two young children, just barely teenagers, sneaking around without marriage, you know what I'm saying, and one kills themselves, then the other one kills themselves. Double suicide, and you're saying it's a romance. Now let's go back and compare it to Muhammad and Aisha. This is the greatest love story ever told, in spite of the fact that she lived so much longer after him. She never entertained an idea of anybody but him, and to be with him in Jannah so they could live happily ever after. Which of the stories do you want to tell your children? Really? Think about it.